Day 4 of isolation here in the UK. Today I have to go out and I have to pick up a prescription from our surgery, which will not just be collected by going in and the receptionist hands it out to me from behind the counter. No, I'll have to drive up there, I'll have to knock on the door, nagging at your door, rather than ringing somebody's bell. Yeah, and then somebody, who knows, perhaps in a hazmat suit, will dispense the prescription through the door. Scary stuff, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to self-isolate for 16 weeks and you're like me and like my wife, who is still sleeping upstairs, insulin dependent diabetic, and we know the government who've said, here's my usual gesture, anyone who gets the standard flu jab should be in this group, and that's off the government's own website. Well, I'm still waiting for them to write to me personally, because they are supposed to be writing to us all personally. I would ask them please not to put the letter in a brown envelope, because brown envelopes scare the excreta out of me. They could be from the DWP, and they could be putting me on the streets with my wife, where any attempt at isolation is really going to fail, isn't it? So, plans for today. Get that. Go to the pharmacy where hopefully I can have it dispensed. Pick up medication that's already there. I think I'm going to virtually stay out of the pharmacy while they're getting the stuff ready. I'm going to go outside where there's lots and lots of air, and I'm going to stand about 25 feet away from everybody. I had actually thought about getting the prescription down to the pharmacist behind the counter with their assistants there. I did think about maybe attaching it to a small drone that I can control off my mobile phone maybe, but I might not be allowed to fly as a drone inside a pharmacy. Perhaps there's a regulation that I don't know about preventing that. Question you might ask me, am I scared? Witless. That's a nice way of putting it. And I've got to contain that a little bit because we're running out of toilet paper. And if I get really, really scared, just imagine, I'll exhaust the toilet paper supply. Oh yes, of course, then I might have to resort to buying copies of The Sun. How many sheets do you think you can get out of a copy of The Sun? I really would like to hear. Is anyone there already cutting up The Sun? Yeah, you know, I mean, do you think that maybe a picture of Rupert Murdoch? I reckon he's got quite a big face, don't you? I think I could probably get quite a few sheets out of Rupert Murdoch. Other things. Do you watch Sky Television? Do you? I do. I've got a Sky box, but I've just been on YouTube and I've watched some British journalists touring a hospital in northern Italy. Now, having watched that, there's one thing I really, really want you to all understand, yeah? No matter how much the media is just saying, oh, you'll catch it. It's just like the flu, really. Most of you will survive. It's not, okay? A senior medic told Sky, who were going round his hospital, and he wasn't even in an intensive care ward. My son is nursing at the moment in intensive care. This wasn't even an intensive care ward. This was a ward. Not even a ward, in fact. It used to be a corridor. Do you remember corridor nursing? Yeah, corridor nursing. It's happening all over the place in the NHS, isn't it? Well, corridor nursing is happening in this hospital. A corridor had been changed to a ward where probably 20 or 30 quite elderly, I admit, patients were on oxygen support, struggling to breathe. Some of them had like a little, in fact they all did, they had like a little bubble inflated over their head. The idea being, of course, for that to try and equalise the air pressure. And some of them also had oxygen masks on. Most were gasping for breath. The doctors were trying to keep them alive. Great, isn't it, that the Tories have cut the health service to the bone? That's good, isn't it? Yeah, they've cut it to the bone. They're already corridor nursing. So how's this going to work when, corridor nursing? There won't be any, perhaps they're going to have special corridors. No, they're not going to do that. Now let's come to the bit that I really wanted to talk about. This image has been haunting me. Absolutely haunting me. I can't get it out of my head. I wish I had not read it. I wish my brain could delete it. I wish these kind of inward eyes that see it, and I'll describe it in some detail, referring back to the Guardian article of about 3 to 4 days ago. A senior medic, I think they worked either at a very big hospital or perhaps they were even a research scientist dealing with this. I do believe they gave their name in the article, but I don't want to go into like 15 minutes, so I won't go into all that. Described how those of us who are not going to survive this because we are over 70, we are immunosuppressed, we already have diabetes, COPD, we have stuff that has already weakened our system. I know we're supposed to stay inside for 16 weeks. I get that, yeah. But the chances of that actually protecting us, I don't know. It might not. The chances of us even staying fed for that amount of time, I don't know. But here's what's going to happen to us. When you are really a hopeless case, they know, just like the Italians are having to decide not to ventilate certain people, yeah, they know you're going to die, yeah. You might think that you might get lucky enough to do that in hospital somewhere. You might actually think you might get lucky enough to do that. You won't, my friends. You won't, right? Now here's the terrifying bit. If you're already living on your own, if you're already being supported by carers, what when they get ill and can't attend to you? Yeah, here's what the doctor, it seems to me that the end of this is going to be managed by our GPs, yeah, and the aim will be to keep us all inside. Obviously they want to keep us inside to prevent further spread of the virus. I get that. Partly the aim of keeping us inside now is to make sure that we don't get it. But when we have got it and the cough is really severe, here's what the GPs are going to give to us according to this article. Yeah? And this is frightening. One of the first things that they will give us, quite how, when we're like this, we can go to the pharmacy and pick it up, I don't know, will be morphine. Oramorph, right? It's, I am told, unlikely that you could in fact kill yourself if you drank an entire bottle of Oramorph. But bear in mind, by this stage, your respiration and your lungs will be so depressed, yeah? They'll be filling with fluid, yeah? Your cough reflex will have diminished. The vigorous cough is there, obviously, to try to cough the virus particles out and clear your lungs. Well, by that time, your cough reflex will have diminished. Your lungs will be full of fluid. Frankly, you will be gradually suffocating from a severe viral pneumonia. So we're going to get Oramorph to cope with that, okay? And pain in our bones and whatever, which is our white cells still trying to fight the virus. Okay, we get Oramorph, yep. The next one they want to do with us is they want naturally to try to keep us calm, yeah? So obviously if we get agitated, we cough more and everything, right? So they'll give us some tranquilizers. I'm not sure how strong they'll be yet, but we'll get some tranquilizers. Be thankful for that, okay? And the final one is quite a strange one, really. They'll give us a drug that apparently will dry up our lung and nasal secretions, yeah? Perhaps a good thing, because I mean, like, even now I've got probably a little bit of a drippy nose. You can hear that, can't you? It's just a drippy nose, right? But all that stuff will be like going down the back of my throat, as you know, when you sniff, yeah? It'll affect the back of your throat, your lungs and whatever. So what this drug will try to do, I suppose, I hope it does it reasonably well, is dry up those secretions, yep? And really then we're pretty much on our own. I'm sorry to have to say that. I'm really sorry to have to say that. I'm sorry that my life will end that way, and it seems increasingly likely that it will end that way. I'm sorry if you know me and you love me, for you to hear me say that, but I think that's how my life is going to end. Now look, for those of us who face that end of our lives, let me say this, okay? Don't be bitter, okay? Above all else, don't be bitter. Don't fight, okay? Don't fight against yourself. Don't fight. Cooperate with any medical help that you're getting. Do your best to be at peace. Try to focus and stay calm. I know it's going to be hard for us, but try also, if you can, in whatever way, some little way that you might still have to help those around you. I don't know. Perhaps from under our mask or whatever, we could just smile at somebody. And if you've got a God who you believe in, and if you pray, I don't care who you are or where you are, pray for peace, protection, and healing. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.